Putting back together the rifle, the buttstock goes on, pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you need to tap the bolt down a little bit through this little channel here. Now getting the magazine cutoff in, the best way to do it is basically you take the little tooth right here, slide it in, and basically you want to make sure that this little tooth here that sticks out is on the exterior of the receiver. Don't let it fall under, otherwise you won't be able to pull the magazine cutoff out. And then all I have to do is basically just get the screw, and you're going to have to probably wiggle a little bit. Looks like that one went right in, but sometimes you have to kind of wiggle this a little bit to get it to fit, and you basically just screw this in. All right, so the next step is putting together the bolt. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this spring and put it in the firing pin. Once that's done, we're going to take this firing pin and actually put it inside the bolt. It's very similar to number one. Okay, so once you have the firing pin inside and you've fixed the cocking indicator to the rear of the bolt, you're going to simply take your firing pin tool here and you see these teeth will line up with the firing pin. You can see the teeth have lined up with the firing pin, and you're basically going to push the bolt in with the tool here and thread it into the rear cocking piece here. Now I want to keep turning until it's basically flush with the cocking piece. You don't want to go further than this or shorter than this, just right flush with it. And the next step is to screw in the retaining screw here to make sure the firing pin doesn't move. The next step is you'll screw in your bolt head. Now before you put the bolt back in the rifle, I want to make sure that the cocking piece is turned so that this piece lines up with this piece down here and the locking lug. Otherwise it won't actually go back into the rifle. Next step is we're going to take the forend here and basically just drop it right into the rifle here. It should just drop straight down. You can see this is cleaned pretty well because it just fell right into place. Now the next step's a little different than a number one. It's a little hard to see, but inside you can kind of see where the trigger is going to actually go in and grab onto this piece here, right behind this magazine catch. You can see on the trigger guard there's this little shape right here that actually grabs right onto that piece. So we're basically going to, very similar to number one, just drop this in straight back. You can see it basically just fits right in. So I got the nose cap on, as well as the rear band here. I did keep this just a little slightly loose, instead of tightening all the way down, just to make it a little easier to get off in the future, since it is a bit of a well-worn screw head. As you can see here, very similar to the number one. You basically turn the bolt head down until it locks back into the receiver like that. And once you have the bolt in place, you can just slide it forward. You see it locks back into place. I'll then be replacing the magazine. And lastly, I'm going to basically screw this rear sling swivel back into the stock. Got the Lee-Enfield all reassembled. Take a closer look at it. See, the butt plate's pretty good shape. Same with the buttstock. I didn't end up seeing any cartouches or anything on it, arsenal marks, at least any that I could see. These ended up basically just being surface cracks, nothing to really be concerned about. You can see the marking came out pretty well too. Put some chalk in it. Magazine's pretty much in the white. Tried my best to card some of these parts, but they were pretty ground down by the wire wheel. You can see some areas were saved. They were a little harder for them to get. Definitely see here some signs of a wire wheel. Almost looks like you can kind of see where the circular action is happening. Two areas here. A lot of metal here in the white. Let's go and flip it over. You can see where that cross design was in the butt. I was able to preserve the rack numbers on the rifle as well. See the distances are here as well, still pretty sharp. Cleaned up the volley sight here. Wood's in pretty good shape. It's really kind of a shame about the metal, but pretty sure that's the work of the wire wheel. See, the underside of the wood looks pretty good too. Really impressed with the condition of the stock. I was kind of expecting it just to be in pieces. Unfortunately, the bore is pretty worn. I would say it's fair at best. I could probably just barely keep it from keyholing. I have to shoot it to really find out, but the bore is pretty worn out. You know, I wasn't really expecting much from a rifle that had been in Ethiopia this long. But if you're looking to get like a really good shooter, I probably wouldn't recommend taking a chance on one of these. You might, probably won't though. I'm certain these rifles weren't properly cleaned when they were shot, if they're cleaned at all. So really taking a gamble on ordering one of these Lee Speeds. Would be cool though if you can get a Lee Metford. So that's a pretty good deal if you just want to have one in your collection. If you're looking for a good shooter, probably look somewhere else. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, for the price I paid, Lee Metfords, Lee-Enfields, I mean, they go for a lot more than that. So it's kind of my chance to be able to add one to my collection without paying a fortune. And I really wasn't planning on shooting it anyway, just because of the type of ammunition I'd need. So overall, I would buy it again if I had the choice. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative. Hope the disassembly instructions were helpful. I'll have a couple more videos coming out soon, so if you'd like to be alerted to those, feel free to subscribe and sign up for alerts. If you have any questions about the Lee-Enfield, feel free to drop it in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.